I'm sorry I can't be with you all tonight, though I'm still here on the Keller Hall stage. Thank you, Robb Award and Robb Trust, for giving me this recognition. The work of John Donald Robb has been a big influence on the work that I've been doing throughout my career. I'm here right now working on a piece called Tiguex. Tiguex is a score for the entire city of Albuquerque. And some of the movements reference the transcriptions that John Donald Robb made of New Mexican folk music. Another big influence of Robb's work and the work of the Robb Trust is the UNM Composer Symposium. Myself as a UNM student, having the opportunity to see the work of international composers coming to Albuquerque was a profound educational experience for myself, and many of those composers who came as guests are people that I've connected with over the years and collaborated with. And having that exposure of those artists coming to our city was very important to myself and other students here at UNM. And so thank you, Robb Trust, for this award. So John Donald Robb's influence here at the University of New Mexico and in the music community in New Mexico at large is very important. For me, it's that legacy has crossed my path in a few ways. I came to the Composer Symposium, I think I was 11 years old. My piano teacher, Don Chambers, was giving a concert here. I'd been studying with her as a kid for about 3 years and hadn't seen her perform yet. And she told my mother that there's going to be a concert, and we got dressed up and came down. And Don comes out on stage, on this stage at Keller Hall, wearing a bathrobe, and walks up to the piano and throws a bunch of rubber duckies in there and slams the lid. And I'm thinking, wow, what is this? What's going on? And after the concert, she's talking to the composer, and she points to my sister and I think there was another kid there, and says, these are my students, this is the composer, John Cage. So that was the year that John Cage came to the Robb Composer Symposium. Now, I'm not gonna say that was an influence to me at that time, but I kept hearing that name as a teenager. And that was the only composer I'd ever met, was John Cage. So there was 1 degree or 2 degrees separation. You know, I'd met this guy, this is a living composer. He did pass away soon after that. But it stuck with me that a composer is not an imaginary thing. There's a person making this music, and that could be the music. There is another part of Robb's work that I found out about later in life, and that's the electronic music that he made, which I had no idea about, and had just come upon this, in this day of everything being accessible through digital media and people sharing files and things uploaded, had come upon his music, and I think it was labeled as J.D. Robb, maybe, and put 2 and 2 together that this is the John Donald Robb who also made very experimental electronic music, which is another big part of my practice. And so it's just been so cool to see all these different trajectories of his work, and there's definitely an influence on myself and my work.